Merry Christmas.
I'm not here.
Mr. Murray, sweet.
I'm already dead.
Yes, of course.
The answer is no. Who is it?
Your producers, Mr. Murray, they are outside. They've heard your beautiful voice, sir.
God hates me.
Forgive me, Mr. Murray, but the God is your biggest fan, number one fan. Truly a huge fan, Mr. Murray.
You really think so?
Number one, sir, number one.
Hey! Merry Christmas!
This is the 2015 Netflix-released film, A Very Murray Christmas.
There is a Christmas special coming up that you are a part of with Sofia Coppola, right?
Well,
Is that happening?
Well, I guess you said it on TV. That's not helping me. Well, it's a kind of a nice idea. It was sort of her idea, and yeah, I think we'll have to do it. I guess we'll have to do it now.
What does that mean? Well, what does that mean? I can't. What are you doing?
What does that mean?
What are you doing?
Well, I don't know. We'll try to. You know, Christmas is really about Christmas songs. I thought I'd sort of do something like that. That was sort of Sofia's idea, and I started thinking about Christmas songs. I thought you could, you know, do some different things with it, and sort of tell a little bit of a story. Shoot it in New York. Do it in New York in like a real club.
And you do it. And it's a TV special.
Yeah, you'd have to watch it. I mean,
It is Christmas Eve, and Bill Murray stares out of a window as a blizzard engulfs New York. While Paul Shaffer tinkles the ivories, Bill sings the Christmas blues. Two producers show up at Murray's hotel room, and we find out that he's about to do a live broadcast of the Bill Murray Christmas special from the hotel's conference room, something that Bill is apprehensive about. As they walk to the film set, they bump into a sleazy agent, played by Michael Cera. He desperately wants Bill Murray as a client, an offer which he rejects outright. Cut to the opening credits of the show. Murray is informed that the audience is unable to attend because of the snow, so the producers have the idea of using the audience shots from an old Golden Globe ceremony. Bill is sure that this is going to be a failure. The show goes live, but before it can start, Murray walks off stage. He ends up bumping into Chris Rock, who's been out walking in the snow. Bill manages to convince Chris to be a guest star. Rock and Murray atonally sing Do You Hear What I Hear, until there's a power cut and Rock takes the opportunity to run away. The producers abandon the TV show recording and leave Murray in the dark. Murray retires to the bar, where Paul is playing the piano. They sing Baby It's Cold Outside with a waitress. Troubles in the kitchen means that all the food is going to spoil, so Bill wheels the food into the bar area and commands the guests of the hotel to feast with him. Bill talks to a bride with cold feet sitting alone at the bar. Bill demands more singing, but unable to pick a song, he suggests the kitchen staff sing something, which they do, a song called Alone on Christmas Day. Bill then speaks to the groom with cold feet. Mayor Rudolph turns up and blasts out Christmas Baby Please Come Home. The bride and groom are reunited and encouraged to sing I Saw the Light together. Murray pours the drink so everyone can celebrate, and together they sing Fairy Tale of New York. At the end of the song, Bill slams back a shot and passes out. Bill wakes up in an idealised version of his Christmas special, slickly produced and brightly lit. Bill sings Sleigh Ride. George Clooney and Miley Cyrus show up and join in the song. Miley then sings an acoustic version of Silent Night. Clooney and Murray sing Santa Claus Wants Some Loving. Then Miley and Bill sing Let It Snow. Then Bill wakes up on his sofa on Christmas morning with one hell of a hangover. He sings We Wish You a Merry Christmas with Paul at the piano. The end.
I don't have like the most incredible memory, but if you ask me like what are the greatest things that you've gotten to do in your life, I would say like 9 out of 15 of them have to do with Bill, or Bill's a part of them.
Honestly, I just wanted to be with like Bill Murray, and I think anyone would have like done this and think it's the coolest thing ever. And I even got to see the movie yet, so I'm really excited for tonight. And it just was so cool to be able to like bring kind of my own style, and it's so fantasy and fun, and then to be able to do these kind of like classic songs and be with Bill is awesome.
This film is the first screenwriting credit Bill Murray has received since 1984's Razor's Edge. He shares that credit with director Sofia Coppola and Mitch Glazer, co-writer of the Bill Murray Christmas classic, Scrooged.
The snow's coming down. Christmas. I'm watching it fall. Christmas. Lots of people around. Christmas. Baby, please come home.
The quality of the cast is instantly notable, and it seems like they've all agreed to show their face purely because this is a Bill Murray project.
It was great to have this excuse where we could just, because with Christmas variety shows, there's not a logic to it. People can show up for barely a little reason. And it was really fun to say, oh, I want to work with Maya Rudolph and Bill we call Chris Rock and all these people that I admire, and that Bill was able to ask to come be in the show.
Billy, this sad excuse for a Christmas special, no harm intended.
Oh, none taken.
Starting to seem to me more like a Chris mess, as in what a mess.
We have George Clooney.
I rest my case. You saw Monuments Men?
I was in it.
Number what, 7 on the call sheet?
You were so good in that. You were great. You were very good.
I believe the intention was to make a 21st century equivalent of the Dean Martin Christmas show, which would mix festive music with comedy skits.
You. Outside snow is falling and friends are calling. Yoo-hoo! Come on, it's lovely weather for a sleigh ride together with you.
Judge, you made it? Well, there's traffic, so I caught a sleigh.
And you brought Miley Cyrus.
Of course. It's her sleigh.
Hey, save your money, flying private, you know.
It's the reindeers that'll get you.
Oh, yeah?
Trust me.
Keeping that in mind, the second half of the special, featuring Miley Cyrus, is the more successful.
I saw the trailer for A Very Murray Christmas. You've got quite a cast of characters in that too.
That's a very good, but that's going to be very wonderful. You'll see that until you're old and gray. That's going to be a really wonderful Christmas thing to see.
I can't wait to see you and Miley Cyrus together.
I'm impressed. She's really got an enormous amount of talent. I like her.
I must admit I rather like Miley Cyrus too. I think she's got a great voice. I wish she'd release an album of country standards. I like George Clooney too. He's the closest thing we have to a present-day Cary Grant. And like everyone else in the cast, I like Bill Murray. He's a legend.
Where's Chris?
He's gone. And so are we. Oh my God. It's out on the entire eastern seaboard.
Pack it up, kids. We're out of here.
Amazing. This is good news. Force majeure. Your contract was voided. You know what this means? You're off the hook. Insurance will cover all of this.
It's been a living hell.
You would think that loving all the elements to make this film whilst also loving Christmas means I am predisposed to adore this. Sadly not.
Got on a lucky one. Came in 18 to 1. I got a feeling this year's for me and you. So happy Christmas.
For a production which was conceived around the music, Bill isn't a good singer. This cover of Fairy Tale of New York actually hurting my ears.
I really can't stay.
Baby, it's cold outside.
I've got to go away.
I'm not kidding. It's really cold out.
And listening to Bill talk the lyrics to Baby It's Cold Outside while Jenny Lewis sings hers emphasises his lack of musical ability. Of course, he has sung in other roles.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bob Harris.
Thanks. This is hard. I could feel at the time there was no way of knowing, fallen leaves in the night.
Lost in Translation, in my opinion, is Bill Murray's best screen role. He gets to show off every side of his personality, his wit and his charm. And in this scene where he knocks out a less than perfect rendition of Roxy Music's More Than This, we don't like the character any less, because the whole premise of the film isn't based on his singing ability. In fact, in context of the film, this singing scene makes you like his character more, because he's being vulnerable.
The jingle bells are jingling, the streets are white with snow. The happy crowds are mingling, but there's no one that I know. I'm sure that you'll forgive me if I don't enthuse. I've come down with those Christmas blues.
This, to me, requires a lot of goodwill in the bank to see past. Singing off-key is something of a trademark of Bill Murray's, starting with the lounge singer he performed on Saturday Night Live, and more recently this strange video which showed up on the darkest corners of YouTube.
The piano has been drinking. My necktie is asleep. And the combo went back to New York. And the jukebox has to take a leak.
I am a big Tom Waits fan, and I know that song very well. Murray is singing at least 2 measures out of time with the music. Anyway, this is not to say that every song is an endurance test. Mayor Rudolph knocks out a very competent cover of Darlene Love's Christmas hit. The band Phoenix's original number, on which Murray only sings backing vocals, is rather nice. And all the songs in the dream sequence have more production both in recording and performance. Maybe this was a point they're trying to make, the real world versus the fantasy.
Santa Claus wants some loving. Santa Claus wants some loving.
If that doesn't sound like something which would be of concern, then good for you. But I want to talk about story now. But before we do that, I'd like to just look at this clip of the South Park creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone talking about their writing methods.
Our whole South Park writers' room, one whole wall is one of these. And we've got it split up into 3 acts.
We have different colored markers just like here too. Look at
Yep.
We have that.
And I walk around with the markers like this, and we'll go, okay, we do a show about this.
This
It's
is
like,
our writer's room.
oh, okay, well somewhere, okay, this would be a funny scene if we had
That's
this.
true.
Each individual scene has to work as a kind of funny sketch. You don't want one scene that's just like, well, what was the point of that scene? We found out this really simple rule that maybe you guys have all heard before, but it took us a long time to learn it. But we can take these beats, which are basically the beats of your outline, and if the words and then belong between those beats, you're f***ed, basically. You got something pretty boring. What should happen between every beat that you've written down is either the word therefore or but, right? So what I'm saying is that you come up with an idea and it's like, okay, this happens, right? And then this happens. No, it should be this happens and therefore this happens. But this happens, therefore this happens. And that, as soon as we are able to, and literally sometimes we'll write it out to make sure we're doing it. We'll have our beats and we'll say, okay, this happened, but then this happens, and that affects this, and that does to that, and that's why you get a show that feels like, okay, this to that, to this to that, but this, here's the complication, to that. And there's so many scripts we read from new writers and things that we see.
God, I see movies.
And,
you see movies that you're just watching. It's like this happened, and then this happens, and then this happens. That's when you're in a movie, just going, "What the f am I watching this movie for?" Just like this happened, and then this happened, and this happened. That's not a movie, you know. That's not a story. Like Trey said, it's those two, but because therefore, that gives you the causation between each beat, and that makes that's a story.
Yeah. That piece of writing advice is solid gold. People pay thousands of pounds to be taught crap, and they dish out that wisdom for free. But back to Murray Christmas. Let's look at that plot again.
They've heard your beautiful voice, sir.
God hates me.
Bill Murray doesn't want to do a TV show, and then an agent wants to sign him, and then the audience can't show up, and then Bill bumps into Chris Rock, and then they sing, and then there's a power cut, and then.
Gosh, it's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, for a soundstage in Queens.
Everything that happens in this movie amounts to nothing. If the whole story was about Bill Murray putting on the perfect variety show, but everything going wrong, then you'd have a plot. But that's abandoned with the power cut. The agent is in it for just one scene. You could make a whole movie about an eager agent trying to get a client. Even the engaged couple with cold feet reconcile their differences with little effort.
She's dying.
You mean she's melting?
I mean dying.
This was written by 3 writers, responsible for at least one brilliant Bill Murray film each. They all know what they're doing. They must do. I just can't tell what it is, as the whole thing seems like a joke at the viewer's expense.
It was great to have this excuse where we could just, because with Christmas variety shows, there's not a logic to it. People can show up for barely little reason.
Sofia Coppola seems to think that she's made a Christmas variety show. If that's the show you wanted to make, why didn't you just make that show? Make it like the old Dean Martin show. Have some songs, have some sketches, and don't be shy about it. There's nothing wrong with loving Christmas.
Tonight will go down as the greatest night in the history of the Carlisle Hotel. Your beautiful food will not die. It will live forever. Because we will consume all of it!
This is not a variety show, is it? It's a Bill Murray indie film, and one that doesn't make a great deal of sense.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
If this film had something to say, rather than just some songs, then I have no doubt it could have become a Christmas classic. But as it is, it's just another subpar movie on Netflix, a platform which has no shortage of subpar movies. If you want to watch something festive and well made, Claws is very enjoyable. I recommend watching that over this. Maybe I'll do a video on that next year. Until then, I'm Scott Kingsnorth and I'm making a movie. Merry Christmas.